Welcome back to the Sound for More channel. It's Leo speaking. Today, if you are interested in breaking apart your beats, creating staggering effects, repetitions, acceleration in different parts of your sample, etc., which you can also do live, not only in your studio, well, this is the tutorial for you because we are going to look into Beat Breaker. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Thank you very much. So we are inside Logic Pro for iPad on an iPad Pro M1. Let's click Create Project, select Tracks. And then let's select Patches, Loops, Samples as we want to load a sample to test. So let's go to Loops and let's search for something that I used before. So let's go for, why not? Let's go for something more disco. Why not? Let's see what we can find. Let's test some of these. Okay, I like this one. So actually, let's try another one before I go ahead. Maybe. This sounds quite nice, actually. Let's click, drag and drop on a track, and let's close now the browser. Okay, let's set also the cycle on so that it will repeat indefinitely. Now let's open up the plugin editor, and under audio effect, click on it, and then go below where it says multi effects and select Beat Breaker. Now, when you look at Beat Breaker like this, you have only one parameter which says pattern, which you can change to one that you have already predefined or one which comes with the factory preset of patterns. But let's double click on it and we get this nice interface. Now let's maximize this and let's also remove the mini plugin tile so we have much more space on the screen. So let's start saying that on the top we have some menus, three modes here: time, repeat, and volume. Then we have the length of the pattern, which is 4 bits, but you can change it up to 16 bits, which in this case 16 bits will cover 4 bars. Okay, you can have an option here for declicking. So you have a number, you can divide your patterns in with slices here. And as you move from one slide to the other, you can decide to declick with a fast fade in, fade out. And then this function here is your dry and wet effect. Okay. In the middle, you have slices, of course, your representation of bit, which will change, of course, depending on the mode here that you select. The volume is yellow, the repeat is this magenta, and the time is orange. Now you can click to create a slice, okay, a marker like that. Double click to remove it, click and drag, and then you can move it wherever you like. Now, these are different slices that you see vertically, okay? And you can, of course, change the configuration. So click and you can move it up and down, like that, like so, 4 times. Click and you can move it left and right to change the speed, in this case, 4 times. And then you can also use 2 fingers, which I can't do with the mouse, but you could, using 2 fingers, you can change the curvature like that, okay? Which is really nice. Double click on it to reset it to the default, okay? At the bottom, you see these names, which are patterns, which you can recall. And then if you click on pattern off, you practically bypass Beat Breaker, okay? So, and then of course you have here an edit button on the right-hand side, which allows you to change which pattern here are called and also record, save, etc. as I show you in a moment. Click on it and then you can click on a pattern here and you can rename the pattern, save it as a record default, the default one, or you can indeed go through all these different categories and you can bring up the effect that you prefer, and there are tons about pitch shift, vinyl, transition, stutter, time shift, repeat, gate effect, basics in terms of changing the speed, etc., etc. Okay, so how does it work? Well, it's very simple. Let's start with time. Okay, so if I click play, you will see something on the left-hand side. It shows you the positioning on playing the sample, okay, as an input. And this one shows you the output, which, of course, you can change, okay? Now, we can say go to 16 bits, okay? And if I show you now, it will cover the entire duration of the 4 bars. So with 16 bits, when the playhead reaches the end here, it has also reached the end of the 4th bar here. If you were to say, for example, alphabet, 8 bits, of course, it will play twice to cover the 4 bars. Let me show you. And therefore, it will go faster, which maybe is what you want. So you see at the end here, it was right on half 2 bars, and then it will cover the other 8 bits for the remaining 2 bars, okay? And if you set it to 4 bits, again, it will play even faster. So we'll play these slices for every bar. And so on and so forth. So let's restore the view. So in time, you have the input here, of course, of your time. Then you can decide the positioning on the sample here, okay? The starting position. And then you move left and right to change the speed, okay? And if you go below, like so, it's negative value and it will reverse, okay? And as I said, you can then use 2 fingers up and down to actually change the curvature, like so. Okay, depends, of course, on what you prefer. So let's try. Let's position, for example, these up here. You will see at the start that it will start here, but when it reaches the end of this slice, it will jump here in this position for the input bit. Okay, let's have a look. Let's double the number a bit, so it will go a little bit slower and it is easier to look at. See, it jumps up in this position, which is relevant to this. Now, if you want to know how the subdivision works, go to the menu here. So here you can snap at the output of different bit, which you can change here. So for example, if you say 1/8, these will move only by 1/8. Okay. If you say, for example, this is going to be only 1/4, when you're trying to move it, it moves only by 1/4. Okay. So, but it's good to leave that to 32, which is the maximum. Then you can change also this snap in input bit and see the grid here, and behind it is 1/8. But if I say 1/16, you see now when I move up and down, it moves through more subdivision, of course. And then lastly, you can also change the snap of the speed here for timing between time and pitch as well as you prefer. Okay, so now let's move this back where it was. Now let's use time, speed, acceleration. So let's move this one much faster. And this one, we're going to move below 0, so we have a negative value. And you will see when it reaches this slice here, it will start to reverse. Okay, and therefore move down instead of up as the playhead on the input bit. Okay, so pay attention here on the left as well as it's moving through the slices. So it's quite cool, isn't it? And of course, you can create some very interesting effect as you move the curvature, right? So you use 2 fingers and then you can change the curvature, which is really nice. You can create some exponential decrease in speed or vice versa, or some very glitches effect. So really nice. So really, really nice. So double click on each of the bars here, the segments, and you go back to the default. Now let's move to repeat. Now repeat allows you to change the number of repeats, okay, which you see also up here. So click and hold, move up, and keep moving up until you can do up to 8 repeats. I should have said also that on the timer here, in the middle, on the top inside, you see the input beat, the speed, and the curvature as well as you change them, okay? So I forgot that, sorry about that. So back to the repeat here, you can change the number of repeat per different slice or steps, which is great. And of course, if you set it to cover 4 bits, so it will be double the speed. Really nice. I love this. Again, if you hear some clicks, just increase the percentage here and as it moves from one slide to the next. That happens particularly as you move the starting point, for example, on timing here. If you move it up there, as it jumps from here to there on the in the position of the sample as it's being played, of course, you might find that this helps. And of course, your dry wet effect, you can change that. So at 0, of course, you don't hear the effect. And of course, somewhere in the middle, you start to hear it. And of course, you can set it to maximum, which is what you might want to do. Brilliant. Okay, so double click, okay, and double click in terms of position, but then you need to go to repeat and double click the same. Or what you can also do here, because you're still in edit mode here, you can go to the custom and say recall default, and it will set it back to the default. Now the the third edit mode is volume, so you can change volume. So for slice up and down, and then of course you can decide if you want change the slope, and of course you can change the curvature just using 2 fingers, okay, like so. So enjoy as there you go. So let's try a little bit as lower, like 16 bits, okay, and let's maybe let's say this, and this is where the clicking really helps. And in so doing, you can create fantastic effects. Indeed. So what you can also do is call up some of the predefined ones. So let's exit this edit mode, clicking on the pencil here again. So if I click Alf, it will give you a different pattern. Okay. And this will be Alf speed. Let's try instant triplet. Skip around. And the great thing of Beat Breaker is that you can do this live. So sleight of hand. Of course, click on edit, and you can go to your custom, and as I said, you can save the pattern, you save it as a new one, record the default, and also change the name. But then if you want to use some of the factory one, here you have different categories. So gate, for example, let's say we want to have a gate fade out, okay? And let's see, if you go to volume, you can see that it's changing there, which is not always obvious depending on the edit mode where you are. Let's click play. Okay, let's change again. Let's say gate, and let's try hearing double. Okay, let's change again. Let's go for basics, and let's say 8 slice speed 50%. Okay, let's play. Really nice. Again, you can all do changing the different slices for all the 3 different edit modes. Now let's go, for example, for reordering, double ripples. Really nice. Now let's try something different. Let's try this robo glitch number 1. Incredibly fast. As you can see, you have only 1/4 of a bit, so maybe too much. But let's say warp and, well, pitch shift. Let's try someone from pitch shift, melodic ends 1. This is slightly nicer. Oh, I should say more gentle in terms of applying effects. Let's try something else, pitch and deep. Really nice indeed. Let's try a few more vanilla record stop. And of course, this will sound better at lower speed. Let's try. Really nice. Okay, let's change these again. Let's try some transition, push and pull. Okay. It's definitely push and pulling. Okay, let's try something scratch back under vinyl. Really interesting. So as you can see, you can do a lot. Stutter, repeat 1/8. Let's see what it does. Just simply repetition, and you can use them also as a starting template, right? Time shift as well. So, I don't know, shifty flow 10. Really, really nice. I just wanted to give you an idea from most of the categories. So, rolling uphill. And remember, you can bypass the effect here. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Beat Breaker is a really multi-effect, fabulous, really nice. You can have a lot of fun live. I hope you enjoy. See you next time. Bye.